Alright guys, welcome back. NFL Week 12 picks against the spread. This is the Thanksgiving Day edition. So pretty much just going to talk about the three games that are going on today for Thanksgiving. Sorry about getting this video out a little bit late. It's just about 11:30 Eastern Time, so I know the games are coming up. I will put all my picks in the bottom of the video as usual, but we're just going to talk about the three games that are about to go on today. First game, Houston versus Detroit. Current line is Houston -4 favorite heading to Detroit. Take a look at last week's game. Houston played a very unusual game against Jacksonville. I thought that Houston was going to completely destroy them, but Chad Henne came in for Jacksonville and kind of turned the game around. And if I could go back and I knew Chad Henne was going to play, I probably would have took that +15 with Jacksonville. But having said that, Houston, they average about 29 points a game. Detroit averages 24. So just on that alone, you figure Houston by at least 5 points just from that alone. But I got a couple of spread stats that I'm kind of looking at for this game. Right now, Houston is 8-0 against the spread when the line is -3 or +3 the last 3 years. Obviously, that's a big number, 8-0. But also have a couple of negative stats on Houston too. So Houston is 0-2 against the spread the last 3 years when playing on a Thursday. Houston is 0-3 against the spread the last 3 years while playing in a dome. Kind of a strange stat, but usually when you see those 0-2s, 0-3s, they're pretty much you can use those when you're making your picks. And Detroit, same kind of bad stat on Detroit. Detroit's 0-2 the last 3 years playing on a Thursday. Not like that makes a big difference, but something that I kind of want to look at. I was really looking back. Detroit's been playing on Thanksgiving forever, since like 1920 something or whatever the case may be. They play every Thanksgiving, and I wanted to look back at the last 4 to 5 years. So I pulled up the last 4 years, and if you look at Detroit in 2011, last season on Thanksgiving they played Green Bay. They lost 27-15. The year before that, they played New England on Thanksgiving. They lost 45-24. The year before that, they played Green Bay again. They lost 34-12. And the year before that, they played the Titans, and they lost 47-10. So looking at the last 4 years on Thanksgiving, Detroit has not fared very well. And, I can't just assume because Houston played a semi-bad game against Jacksonville that all of a sudden Detroit is a monster team. I mean, the line is only -4. It's not like they're getting 10 or getting 7. So I'm just going to take Houston -4. It seems like it's a pretty easy cover as long as they don't turn over the ball too much. They're going to be able to run the ball. Arian Foster should have a good game. Detroit's line defense is nothing to write home about. So I don't see too big of a case you can make for the Lions in this spot. I mean, you're gonna, you take the Lions. You're just taking them just to hopefully cover the spread. But you can't assume that the Lions are gonna get up to beat Houston. Houston also, that was a bit of a wake up call last week. He almost lost to the worst team or the second worst team in the whole league. That's got to be embarrassing at home. You got to think they're going to go into Detroit on a nationally televised Thanksgiving game, and play a very, very strong game. So, going to take Houston -4. Next game, we got Washington Redskins playing at Dallas. Dallas right now -3. I believe that line opened up. I had it at -3.5 early. It looks like it's been bet down to -3. Kind of figures, Dallas played last week. They barely escaped Cleveland in that game, which was I kind of assume that Dallas plays that way. They don't come back, back-to-back weeks and put together good games. They never do. So, last week with that game at Dallas playing Cleveland, I assumed Dallas was going to have kind of a fallback game. They really went all out to beat Philadelphia in that divisional game the week before, where they won big. Then they came back home, and you had a feeling they were going to let down on that Cleveland game, and somehow they did let down, but they actually came back to win that game. So it kind of shows, that Dallas is not going to just, lay down and take it. They're trying to make this playoff run, and they're trying to win some games. So Washington last week, they, smoked Philadelphia. But then again, these days everybody's smoking Philadelphia, so I guess that doesn't mean too much. Also, Washington was off that bye week, so usually those teams off the bye week come out and they play really good games. But this game, going back to Dallas for Washington, this is a tough game. RG3, it's going to be, nationally televised game. Rookie going into that setting where, in November, Dallas and Romo don't lose. I mean, they are just on fire. So, it looks like Dallas to me kind of took it easy last week. Did what they had to do to get the job done. They're looking ahead to this game, divisional game. They need to make the playoffs. They already took Giants on one game. They need to win this game. They already beat Philadelphia as well. So this is a big divisional game. They probably, they played easy last week, and this week it's going to be, full throttle, and, they're going to really put it on. So, again, kind of look back. Did some research on the Thanksgiving Day games. Dallas also playing a lot of games on Thanksgiving. Last year they played Miami. They won 20-19, only 1 point. 2010 they played the Saints. Saints won 30-27. If you go back to 2009, Cowboys played the Raiders. They won 24-7, and Cowboys played the Seahawks the year before that and won 34-9. So Dallas, those last 4 years, they're 3-1. Winning games. This game, obviously, you got to deal with the -3 of the field goal, but, I'm going to take Dallas in this game, also because I assume that everybody's on Washington for the most part. The spread's getting bet down. Dallas didn't cover last week. They give them the favoritism at home, but I got to assume that everybody is on Washington in this game. And most of the public's probably taking that. But in any case, I'm going to go with Tony Romo, going to go with Dallas. They got good numbers in November. And going to see if they can pull this one out. Okay, the last game is going to be the Thursday night game, and that is New England at the New York Jets. This spread right now is -7. A lot of books had it at -6.5, but when I just checked it to do this video, it was actually -7. So, what can I say about this game? The New England Patriots had that big game last week. They really showed up and played well against Indianapolis, where I actually had take Indianapolis last week because New England never seemed to cover, spreads of 7 or higher, and they proved me wrong last week and really put an ass whooping on the Indianapolis Colts and Andrew Luck. And then you had the Jets also with another big win last week, where they went into St. Louis and played a relatively inspired game. I was actually impressed, not so much by their offense because their offense is very, very sloppy, but I was more impressed by their defense actually showing up. So this game, that 7 points is very, very tough. -6.5. Patriots, I'm all over that spread. When it gets to 7, it's a little bit of a different type of feel. That the last time these teams played, the game went into overtime, and that was in Foxborough. That game went into overtime. The Jets should have actually won that game if it wasn't for a dropped pass by, might have been Curley or whoever the hell dropped that pass. But, this is a tough game, really a coin flip, in my opinion. Obviously New England, I feel, is a lot better of a team, not just in this matchup, but in all aspects. And really, New England every year is a better team. Their whole problem with New England is their defense. They have games where they shut down the other team, and then they have games where the other team puts up 40. It's very, very hard to figure them out. So, what defense for New England will show up? If their defense can hold the Jets to 14 to 20 points, there's no way that the Jets will cover. Because New England's going to put up at least 30, 32. So if they hold the Jets to 14 to 20, then the game's pretty much set and done. So I'm just going to take the Patriots. Going to take -7. If you can get it -6.5, it'd probably be a lot better to take that. But it is what it is. I'm going to take the New England Patriots -7 tonight at the Jets. But I'm going to keep a line on that. Keep an eye on the line movement as well. Other than that, good luck to all you guys out there. Happy Thanksgiving, and we'll see you next week. Good luck.